Welcome back. We are doing all things wedding because the wedding is happening. I want to share with you some advice that I received from my bridesmaids. They might be thinking, why would we listen to your bridesmaids? Well, let me tell you why. These are not just any bridesmaids. These are bridesmaids who have successfully figured out how to stay married, how to have a healthy relationship, how to thrive. First one is the importance of communication. This was from my maid of honor, Miss Kristen Madison. She said, whenever there's an issue, it can always be solved by communication. But if you don't communicate, it always makes it worse. And if you want a good marriage, why would you want to do anything that would make it worse? It's totally counterintuitive to what the actual goal is, right? Which is to have an incredible marriage. Love that one. The next person who shared was Mrs. Elena Cardone. She said, weekly goals and conversations around them to focus on the big picture. How can you implement, like as a policy? Weekly, we do a meeting, focus on the future. What's pulling us forward? How can we go attack that? How can we dream together? How can we create together? I freaking love that too. I'm gonna say I love that to all of them because they're all pretty fantastic. Okay, next up, Mrs. Linda Ware. Do not vent to your partner. This completely hits home to me. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's somebody else. But the person that you should be venting to is not your significant other if you're trying to make your marriage really last and really work out. Linda and Bart have two of the most incredible children I've ever met, and they are a beautiful picture of what I would like our marriage to look like. So when I think about, okay, if she doesn't vent to him, then what else is left for them to talk about? The future, things that are going right, the things that they love about each other, instead of just like, nah, 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 nah. All right, Kaitlyn, my dearest friend from college. We used to live together in college. She's been married now for 5 freaking years. And her piece of advice was make having fun together a priority. Are you stuck in the monotony of day to day, or is there a date that you can plan? How do you plan fun? Because sometimes it's great when fun just happens, but oftentimes you have to put yourself in the circumstances in order to make fun, to create that fun. So love that one, Kaitlyn. Great advice. Sandy's. Sandy killed it with the advice. Sandy has given me probably some of the most important relationship advice over the 4 years that I've known her. This one is important for sure. Sandy's advice is have sex in the morning and get it done. I mean, there it is, folks. That's a successful marriage of over 20. Yeah, they just celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary. 20th? I believe it was the 20th. Get it done. Moving on to Linda Gold. Linda and Brian have been married 41 years. So take your pens out and start writing this down. Don't ask anyone about what bothers you. Trust yourself. You don't need to ask anyone's opinion. Should this bother me? That was the context of the conversation. Like, oh, he's doing this. Should this bother me? If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. Having somebody else tell you what should or shouldn't bother you, if it bothers you, let it bother you and address it. Next up, 3 pieces of advice from Carol Workman. And if I could have my parents' relationship, I would in a heartbeat. First piece, when you're getting married and you're in a relationship, there's no giving up. Like, you do not give up. In arguments, the divorce word, the D word, is never used. You do not get the permission, you do not get the ability to throw that out there. You are figuring it out, you are not giving up, you are in it to win it. Her second piece was similar to Kaitlyn's, like, have a sense of humor. What can you put in your environment to create fun and humor? She talks about my dad always says little jokes. I think of that with Brandon a lot as well, where as soon as I'll be mad at him, yesterday I was irritated about something and he just started laughing and he said, "Is this our last premarital spat?" And it just cracked me up, but he smiled, and then it was over it. So instead of being serious all the time, which sometimes I'm more serious than I want to be, how do you add humor? How do you smile? How do you poke fun? How do you just be sweet and cute so that things don't seem so heavy and you can enjoy each other? Her last piece of advice actually comes from Michael Workman, my father. Apparently, whenever they are having an argument, which I do not know these things, do not want to know when these things happen, he says to her, honey, we're on the same team. When you're frustrated, like, just remember, hey, you guys are now a team. Brandon and I are now a team, and we are freaking on the same team. We're on the same team. That's so important. So with that, in the comments below, let me know, what is your one piece of marriage advice? Put it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, all things wedding coming your way. This channel is just getting going, and then there's everything that's happening post-wedding, so you're not gonna wanna miss it. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. The bell is important so you're notified when new videos come out, and I will see you so soon.